So today I'm going to talk about what is a spiritual warrior, what is needed for battle, how to prepare ourselves for spiritual battle, and what happens when we battle. These are really important for us to watch for and look for. What are some of the signs that we are battling within ourselves as well as in the subtle worlds? Because why? A spiritual warrior eventually is going to do battle, quote unquote, for the Lord. The Lord can be Christ, or it can be the Lord inside of us. Okay? And that means that we are doing battle for the higher values, for the higher road, for the principles that we need to have in our life and to bring those principles in the lives of others. We can see that any change that happens in the world changes because people dared to stand up for what they believed in. They dared to articulate. They dared to talk back. And that's the same thing within us. So first, what is needed for battle? What is needed for battle? That's my first question. You can't be ambivalent if you're going to be a warrior. Okay, that's the first lesson. Whether it is outside, whether you're going to war for some cause, good, bad, indifferent, you agree with or don't agree with, it doesn't matter. You have to be committed. You have to be trained and committed to do battle. And I like that because it shows to me that if I really want internal changes, I have to commit myself to them. I can't do it one day and not the other day. There's no sustainability then. I have to sustain my fighting. I can't be ambivalent. I have to be committed. Second, I have to be prepared. In order to do battle, you have to be completely prepared. And we're going to see from the signs that when you see signs that show non-preparedness or not quite the time to push further, you need to know what to do to back off. This is just as important as what to do when you need to attack. Okay? You need to know when to pull back, when to hold your ground, when to go forward, just like you would in a real physical battle. You need to have your equipment. In a spiritual battle, your equipment are your subtle senses, your heart, the strength of your heart. It is your clear mind. It is a healed emotional body. It is a clear mind that sees where you need to go and why you need to get there. These are your equipment that create your strong aura, your protection and your glory, that allows in only what you need to allow in and lets out only what you want to let out. It shields you and protects you. That is your weapon. Your aura, and how you build it is the entire path of the teaching and the transformational process. You need to know that you can win. You need to know that you can win before you do battle. Why would you go in otherwise? So this is very important. It's not haphazard. You can't say, well, today I'm going to discipline myself. Well, try. You have to know that you can win this one, that you have everything in place that you can make it. That gives you a sense of well-being, a sense of encouragement as a result. You see, as warriors, we have to see some kind of results that we can build on, whether it's a tangible result or it's an intangible result. I feel better about myself. That's a result. I feel stronger. That's a result. I'm better at my work, at my relationships, at my inner work. Those are results. You have to be able to see that. So it's planned. Do you see that? It's planned. It's articulated. So as a warrior, as you approach the spiritual battles, you have to have these committed, planned tools in place so that you can battle properly. And as you learn how to do these spiritual battles, larger and deeper and more extensive battles will be given to you. You have to prove yourself. You can't be a 5-star general just because you're good looking. It doesn't work. Or because you've read a bunch of books. It doesn't work. You have to show who you are. And higher teachers, great ones, know who we are by the radiation of our heart, our soul, our aura. They know exactly where the chinks are. They know exactly where the cracks are. They know exactly where the strength is. And we have to be able to know that. You know when you really take stock of yourself where your strengths and weaknesses are. And during this time of Scorpio, you are going to really take that time to ask yourself these very, very important questions. Now, it could be that the spiritual warrior and battling idea is not your idea of the keynote of your life, but it is a time during Scorpio to ask those questions, because it is a battling period, and you can see that all around us. People are battling with ideas. So get into that groove and ask those questions. The spiritual battles are far deeper and more complex than any physical battle. Think of how you battle inside of yourself to master your habits and your illusions and your glamours and the egos and the vanities. Why are they more complicated just in one person? Because they have strings attached to them. They have memories. They have emotional part. They have a mental part. They have the spiritual part. They have the physical cells and atoms in our bodies have memories. So they pull from all directions. So even when you start on a path of battle, don't think that that one approach is the only one. Things are going to change, and you have to be able to adapt to them. Similarly, in the higher worlds, the battles are much more complex. They involve dark forces and light forces, the forces of the hierarchy and other forces. They involve ideas and impressions and visions, maybe 60, 70, 80 years later are going to show the results. For example, in our classes, we've been reading a compilation on money and how to use our resources in the best way, right? And we've seen they were written maybe in the mid-40s, late 40s at the latest. And what is it, 60, 70 years later, we are seeing some of those ideas come out. It takes time. So you have to understand that when you are doing spiritual battle inside of you, it is going to take time. It is not going to be overnight. That it is continuous. No, it will not stop. It's a different mindset, isn't it? It's really a different mindset. You can't just go in and think, oh, one day and I'll have it done. It's not going to work like that. What are the weapons, the key tool that we need for doing battle? I'm going to summarize it in one phrase: spiritual maturity. It takes spiritual maturity to be a warrior of the teaching, the warrior of light, and to do spiritual battle. What is spiritual maturity? Let me define it in some ways: physical, emotional, and mental discipline. That shows spiritual maturity. Define it any way you want. Physical discipline. Can you show up? Can you be counted on? Can you do quality work? Do you bitch and moan about everything? Well, that's not maturity. The same thing emotionally. Are you constant? Can you put your emotions aside and do what you need to do when you need to do it? Many people do. Sure, we have emotions and they're not perfect, they're not mature, they're not intuitional level yet. But can we put those things aside when push comes to shove and we have to do something? That shows spiritual maturity. And I've seen it. I've seen it happen. People can go through deep crises in their lives, as I have and you have, and we still show up and we still do the work. And shut up too. That's my mantra, right? You've all heard it. Show up, shut up, and do the work. That shows spiritual maturity. How about mental maturity? Even if you're in agitated mind, even if you're hurting, even if you haven't slept all night, can you still get up and show up and do the work? That shows spiritual maturity. Can you lend yourself to the group effort? We've been talking about building the group Chalice and expanding on service to humanity. That takes spiritual maturity. You see, that takes that kind of spiritual maturity where you leave your ego aside, you leave your own proclivities aside, your own wishes and desires, and you push yourself into the effort of the group. And we've seen that. This is Gita Saraydarian, and I would like to thank you for your interest in this video lecture. We have books, booklets, and spiritual study courses on this very topic. Please visit us at tsgfoundation.org for more information on all TSG Foundation products and services. Thank you.